Здравейте отново на всичките, които се включват на презентацията на Louis University. Ще започнем след всеки момент започваме, да дадем възможност на хората да се присъединят на време. Ще представя Мария, която е представител на Louis University. Maria, hello. Very nice to meet you.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, thank you for joining us. What's the situation in Italy? I never asked about COVID-19.
It's actually going quite well. Like, every other European country, of course, we are all waiting to get more and more vaccines. But overall, like the situation is under control. The process has started and it's actually going quite well. We have recently finished vaccinating all the elderly, and now we are starting with, people like us that work at the university. So obviously we're quite happy about it.
Okay. Okay, well, I think we can start now.
All right. So just 1 second so I can share my screen. All right. I think you should be able to see it, right?
Yes, well,
Yeah.
before you start, excuse me,
Yeah.
just to let the people know that you have still available slots in your calendarly schedule for your one-on-one meetings tomorrow. So if they're willing to book a meeting with you, one-on-one meeting, they can do it now, and we will post your Calendly in the chat box here. It is already in the chat box. So everybody, if you wish to meet Maria tomorrow for 30 minutes session, you can book your slot now through the Calendly schedule that she has. Okay.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Again, I guess Emita has already said it, but my name is Maria. I work at Louis University, specifically at the International Orientation Office. It is very nice for me to be here. Today, we're just gonna go through some slides. I'm gonna give you an overview of our programs and the university. And then, of course, at the very end, if you have questions, I'm here to try at least to answer all of them. So first of all, Louis is a private university specialized in social sciences. We are obviously based in Italy. We are in Rome, in the very, very center of Rome. The university was created in the late 70s by Confindustria, which is the largest confederation of Italian companies and enterprises. So, this very close relationship with the corporate world was that back then when we were created, but it is very much alive still now. And we'll talk about it in a minute. I'm not sure how much you guys know about rankings, but if you do not know very much, so this is my first tip for you, please try to read as much as you can about them. It is actually quite important to understand where a university is positioned. The main reason is that, when a university is positioned quite well, that helps you afterwards, opening more doors when you do enter the job market for the first time. So regarding Louis, we are, I think, positioned well. We're first in Italy among private universities, according to Il Sole 24 Ore, which is the main national ranking. The Department of Political Science is in the top 100 on the QS ranking. while the Department of Business and Management is in the top 100 on the Financial Times. And we also have an accreditation, which is EQUIS. This accreditation is really, really, really tough to get, and only 1% of the business schools in the world have it. So, you know, these are the main ones that you should definitely keep under check and control. Just few words about numbers. The university, as I said, is a social science university. So we have 4 departments: the Department of Economics and Finance, Business and Management, Political Science, and Law. We are a middle-sized university, meaning that we have less than 10,000 students. We do want to keep it that way because being middle-sized allows us to help you and support you. As you can see, the student-professor ratio is 7:1, which means, you know, that classrooms are really, really big, but classes themselves are quite small. So you get access to your professors anytime. Being a middle-sized university also helps us to support you when you are struggling with specific subjects, with your academic career. And we have an abandonment rate of 0%, which means that nobody is left behind. Everyone is supported and everyone graduates on time. You know, when I used to go around mostly before COVID, now of course we do everything online, but when I do talk to students and their parents, it happens quite a lot that they ask me, you know, okay, but why, Luis? Like, what's your value? Why? It is, as you can imagine, a quite complicated question to answer. But in my personal opinion, Luis bases upon 2 very big columns. One is represented by the international breadth that the university has. You can see this in many levels and in many situations, like by the number of nationalities represented on campus, obviously the international faculty, but also through the agreements that we have with several universities all around the world. Mostly, we have double degrees, which basically allow you to spend 1 year at Lewis and 1 year abroad and earn at the end of the program 2 degrees from 2 different universities. So we really think it's an incredible, great advantage. On the other side, the very big column, we mentioned it before, is the relationship that we have with the corporate world. As we said, Lewis was created by Confindustria, and hence, obviously, you know, that relationship is still quite close. On average, our graduates find their first job within 2 months from graduation, so it's quite quick. And as you can see, 90% of our alumni are fully employed, which means they have a permanent contract within a year from graduation. These 2 columns are in a way connected, put together by our alumni. Right now we have about 45,000 worldwide, and you know, they help us quite a lot, and it's nice that they like to stay in touch, and of course we like to have them in touch with us. So here I thought to put just few names of, you know, some of our alumni, just to give you an idea of what they do afterwards. I'm not sure whether you guys still play or at least know Candy Crush, which is a game for the phones. It's actually quite popular over here. The owner of King, which is the brand that owns Candy Crush, that created Candy Crush, is Riccardo Zacconi. He's one of our alumni, obviously quite successful. Yeah, and so, you know, this was basically his dream. He started working on it in our startup. We have a startup accelerator, and then of course he developed it, and everyone knows it now, I guess. Another one is Luca Maestri. I'm sure that you all know Apple. He's the CFO at Apple. And then you see here other brands. I also decided to put the symbol of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, just to share a few words about the relationship that we have also with the political world. Lewis is the university in Italy with the highest number of graduates that then started a career in diplomacy. So much that we created a major in the Master in International Relations that is named Diplomacy to support them with this process. So basically, wherever you go, at the Italian embassies in the world, or like the Italian institutions, etc., there is always at least one LUIS graduate. And this, of course, helps us to, well, support students when needed, but also like help students that are interested in the political science field, maybe to find the right internships. I'm sure that you guys have heard about the concept of lifelong learning, which is something that pretty much all the universities do. The idea is that you start with the university and grow with it and into it. This is something that we have. But at LUIS, we also have this other concept, which we call lifelong learning. It's a little bit wider as approach. We do not only want you to study in the classroom. We want to help you develop and grow and become, better people and better leaders of tomorrow. This is why we have created some years ago now an office that is called ERS, which stands for Ethics, Responsibility, and Sustainability. Their job is to give you this opportunity to attend different kind of classes and activities. So just to give you an idea of what they do and some of the projects that they developed and worked on. A couple of years ago, definitely before COVID, a group of our students was selected to go to Lampedusa, which is like this tiny island outside of Sicily in the south, where, there is the situation of the migrants arriving all the time, etc. So together with the Italian Red Cross and Amnesty International, and of course, some people like me, from LUIS staff, they were sent to Lampedusa to understand how the Italian Red Cross was managing and helping, these people. Students thought that they were just gonna look from afar, from a side, but in reality, they were actually put, in the situation, they were involved. And of course, these kind of activities are not for everybody. There is a selection on top, of course, that is done through students, but if you do feel that you want to see it with your own eyes and get involved, this is, something that we really believe change your perspective, your way of, working and looking at people and the society around you. And this is what we try to do with our lifelong learning approach. Among the several things that we do at LUIS, one of them is represented by sport. We are incredibly into sport. So there are a sport academy that is structured in 3 different levels. Here, of course, you see, our student athletes. They are professionals, as you can see from what they're wearing. They obviously competed at the Olympic Games. So, they study with us, but they also train with us. We have an agreement with CONI, which is the Italian Confederation of Sport, and they can, train with CONI and LUIS together. These kind of students usually have a athlete scholarship. So if you are a professional athlete, you can apply for this kind of scholarship. Of course, there are selection processes from an academic point of view, definitely, but also from a sport point of view. But if you do qualify, we would be very, very happy to help you and have you on the team. If you are into sport, but you're not a professional yet, then you can still join one of our teams and train, be trained with the LUIS teams on campus, etc. But you don't have necessarily be that much that professional. And then, of course, if you're just you just want to train a little bit, you want to do it for fun, you can obviously do that as well. Okay. What else can I say? So regarding the services, of course, LUIS, as we mentioned at the very beginning, is a private university, and this means that, in terms of services, we offer pretty much anything that you can think of. It's definitely not your case, but if you do need support with your visa, or even like registering here at the local police station, etc., we can help you with that. When international students arrive, one of the main concerns that they have relates to housing, mostly for bachelor students and for their parents that are obviously worried about where their kids are going to stay. So, you know, we have two main options. One is represented by the dorms that we have. So we have several dorms, they're residences, you know, they're all around the campuses. In total, we have 4 campuses, which are actually very close to each other. It's a walkable distance, and the dorms are all around them. If you do not want to stay in a dorm, or maybe, you know, simply you're not assigned a room, of course you can apply for it in May. We, you know, try to let you know as soon as possible, and that's usually around June. But then if you do not get one, or maybe if you're given a room in a dorm that is, you know, not the one that you wanted to have, then in that case, we also have another support, which is Casa Luis. It's basically a real estate agency. It's our own. It means that, you know, you do not pay the commission fee for the agency. Whatever you see online when they send you the links of the rooms and the apartment, it's actually gonna be that way when you do get to Rome. All you have to do is simply pick the place and then pay the deposit, and then, you know, whenever you arrive to Rome, inform them so that they can meet you, greet you at the house, show you around, and give you the key and sign the contract, of course. As we mentioned before, we have an abandonment rate of 0%. And this relates very much to also the tutoring service that the university offers. So once you get a LUIS as an international student, you are assigned to a specific tutor that will help you at least understand who you have to talk to if you do not know what to do. We have both university tutors, which are basically the ones that help you like book an exam or book a meeting with the professor, create your study plan, etc. So with like practical everyday stuff at the university. And then we have also academic tutors, which are instead the ones that help you if you're struggling with a specific subject. Maybe there is an exam that you have, you know, problems passing or understanding, etc. They can help you with that. They're usually professor assistants, and so, you know, they're specialized, obviously. Another thing that we are quite proud of at LUIS is the green mobility in general. Actually, the concept of sustainability is something that we are very passionate about. So the green mobility is one of the many things that we do on campus. There are several cars, which are, you know, they're smart, they're electrical, they're owned by the university. You can just rent them. Is a car sharing service offered. You can rent them through the LUIS app, and then, you know, you can drive wherever you want, as long, obviously, as you take them back, because they are electrical. Another point, for instance, about sustainability is that we have a plastic-free policy on campus. So as soon as you get there, we give you like everything, you know, that you need, like the refillable water, so that a bottle of water, so that, you know, you can just use the fountains that are all around the campuses, and you do not have to waste and use plastic. Another thing that we offer for free are Italian courses. The university is fully, completely bilingual, so you do not need to speak any Italian. You know, it's totally fine if you only speak English. However, we do believe that learning the local language helps you, well, of course, going around, because I mean, Rome is a nice modern city, but when you leave, you know, the city center, it could be still tough sometimes. So that helps. But besides that, it's because learning a language is learning a culture. And so we think it's important. It's not mandatory, but strongly encouraged and recommended. If you want, we can also match you with another student, maybe an Italian student that wants to practice English, etc. And, you know, you can just be put together and do like a language exchange partnership. And then last but not least, all the people, like me that work at Lewis in an international office, we all have experiences also as students to study abroad. So this means that we know that studying abroad is incredibly fun, it's exciting, it's challenging, but sometimes it can be tough. So if you are with us and you feel homesick, or simply you're struggling adjusting to the Italian lifestyle, which could happen, we do have a counseling service. So, all you have to do is simply send out an email, and, our counselors and psychologists are there to help you, go through this moment. Just to give you an idea of how our campuses look like. So the first two that you see here are the main, they're on the main campus, which is basically where all the bachelor and most of the master programs are taught. And then here you have, an idea of how they look outside. I mean, there are like all the gardens, etc. So basically all the 4 campuses have a central building surrounded by gardens. Most of these buildings were originally actual like Roman villas that then the university bought and renovated. So, it's quite common to find like statues or fountains on campus. It's very exciting. It's like being in a museum. Every campus has a particular kind of space room. So here, for instance, you see the language cafe, where the idea is, as you can imagine from the name, like just chill out. You do not study there. There are guitars around, couches, etc., and exchange language enhanced culture. And then you see here one of the rooms in our dorms, just to give you an idea. They are honestly way above average. Like they're super nice. They were hotels. So like you still have all the services, like the maids that clean your room, the bathrooms are in each room. There is a kitchen on each floor, etc. So it's a very nice, safe, of course, environment. Moving to the programs. So at the bachelor level, we have 3 programs that are 100% taught in English. So economics and business, management and computer science, and PPE, politics, philosophy, and economics. In particular, the program in economics and business gives you the possibility to choose a major at the end of the second year, which can be economics, finance, or management. So the idea is that you have the first 2 years in common with everyone, so that even if you think that you want to study only finance, for example, you get to study a little bit of the other majors as well, so that when you decide what you want to do next, you are more aware of what you're doing and why. As you can see here, you see some of the structured partnerships that we have. As we mentioned before, internationalization is really, really important for us. And so, of course, besides the structured partnerships, you can also live with go through abroad through the Erasmus program. The main difference is that while the Erasmus program allows you to stay 3, 6, or 9 months in a partner university, structured partnerships usually allow you to stay the whole academic year, the whole year, so 12 months. Also, the PPE program gives you the possibility, if you apply and if you're selected, to earn a double degree. So basically, you would spend 1 year at Sciences Po Bordeaux in France, and in that case, earn at the end 2 bachelor degrees. At the master program, we really have tons of programs that are completely in English. Most of them don't even have the Italian version of the program. So of course, they are all related to social sciences. So there is economics and finance, corporate finance, data science, marketing, management, strategic management, and then a lot of programs related to the political science field. So like IR or global management and politics, and other programs more focused on Europe. What is very interesting about all these programs is that, well, basically all of them allow you to apply at least for 1 double degree, so that you can, again, earn 2 degrees, 1 year at Lewis or 1 year abroad. And that the ones that do have majors, very similar to the economics and business that we mentioned before, allow you to basically attend the first year in common with everyone. And then you pick your major at the end of the first year. Again, this is a way for us to help you make sure that what you're going to focus on is exactly what you want to do and what you want to study and work in. How to join us? It's actually, in a way, kind of easy because everything is done online. We ask you, just to upload few documents like your most recent transcripts. Of course, we need some personal information. And then we need an email address of one of your current professors or teachers that we might reach out to. That professor becomes your sponsor. It's a kind of reference, but it's a little bit different. When you guys submit like reference letters or your professors do it on your behalf, usually we know that it's more or less a copy and paste of the same letter for many, many universities, and that's totally normal. This is why we decided to create this figure, the sponsor, which is only reached out to when it's necessary. So if our admission board needs to talk to someone about you and your academic background and understand more, they can either reach out to the sponsor or reach out to you, obviously, and organize an interview with you. That's it. Everything else is basically optional, but keep in mind that the fact that documents are optional does not mean that we do not care about them. This year, we have created a particular admission process that is based on what candidate is applying for what program. So if you are a bachelor student, you will see that we have 4 different application processes. The standard one is for students that are earning a local degree or diploma that do not have an SAT, etc. You just apply there. The others instead are for students that have an SAT of 190 and above, an ACT of 20 or above, or that are earning a full IB diploma. The fact that you might not have an SAT, etc., does not mean that you are evaluated any less. It's just a different process. The standard one might just take a little bit longer for us to make sure that everything is okay, go through all the documents and double check everything. But the processes are just parallel. Okay. Same thing, of course, is for the master level. So there is the standard application, but then if you have a GMAT or a GRE of with specific scores, you can apply through direct, basically, admission. And then last but not least, we do have a bunch of scholarships that are for international students only. Our scholarships are merit-based, which means that you don't have to apply in any other way besides applying for the program of your interest. Once all students apply, if they meet certain requirements decided by every admission board based on the program you're applying for, you are automatically considered for it. We really do our best to be able to give you the outcome of the scholarship together with the admission outcome. Sometimes, as you can imagine, it's not that easy. So you would basically receive the outcome of the admission offer, and then within the following 2 or 3 years, if you get a scholarship, you would also receive an email about that. And you're asked, of course, to confirm within a certain deadline. But keep in mind that scholarships are given throughout the whole process. So you might even end up being offered a scholarship in June, for instance. If you have already paid the first installment to confirm your space, your slot, then in that case, you get a scholarship, we just refund you. So the process also from this point of view is kind of easy because there is nothing to do besides applying for the program. So I hope this was a pretty good overview. If you have specific questions right now, I'm very happy to do my best and answer them. If you think about questions later on, just feel free to reach out to me or, of course, any of the people that work at Skylines, which are our partners over there. Thank you.
Well, Maria, it was really very interesting to listen to you.
Thank you.
From my point. And I can see one question at the moment. Two questions, actually. Mm-hmm. From Elitsa, can you also see it? It's
yeah. So double degree means that we study in two universities at the same time. Yes, so it means that you are enrolled basically into universities at the same time, and you study 1 year or 2 years if it's a bachelor degree with us at Lewis, and then 1 year physically to the other university. And then at the end, when you have to like write your thesis, defend your thesis, etc., you have to do it in the two universities. So you have two supervisors. The thesis is going to be the same, of course, but you have, more faculty to relate to. So, and at the end, of course, you're part of two alumni networks, etc. So everything that is good is double.
Mm-hmm. Carlina is asking if it is allowed to study two bachelor programs at the same time.
Yeah, so at the moment, the only double degree program that we have at the bachelor level is for the PPE program. In reality, even, if you just look around all the universities, not just in Italy, but in general, it's way harder from like a technical point of view to develop a double degree at the bachelor level. But at Lewis, we do have one, and it's in the PPE with Sciences Po Porto.
Mm-hmm. And there was one question in the Q&A. It was about, it is answered.
No, it's now in the chat.
Does the Cambridge English certificate have any impact, probably with regards to entry requirements, I suppose?
Yeah, so as I was saying before during the presentation, some documents are not mandatory, like an IELTS or a TOEFL or a Cambridge certificate, but if you have them, they definitely impact on the possibility, of your admission. So yes, definitely. So if you have it uploaded, of course, a good score.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, once again, thank you very much, Maria. I will urge the students, if they're willing to meet you one-on-one. There is one more question.
How much are the university fees? Yeah, so every bachelor program costs 11,300 euros per year, and every master program costs 12,300 euros per year. And this price is basically the same for all students, regardless of nationality, etc. So Italians pay the same.
Още веднъж, ако желаете да си направите среща с Мария, за да питате повече въпроси, ако имате нещо, което да споделите, или пък е нужна повече информация за отделна програма, можете да го направите чрез Calendly срещите, които тя има на всеки 30 минути утре. В началото на чата сме го поснали. Можете сега да кликнете на линка и да си резервирате среща. Иначе ние сме на линия за всякакви допълнителни въпроси. Презентацията ще ви бъде изпратена по имейл, тя е записана и ако имате някакви допълнителни въпроси в follow-up имейл, който ви изпратиме, ще ви изпратиме, можете да върнете вашите въпроси. Maria, I just said that the students will receive a follow-up email where this presentation, because it is recorded, they will receive the recording of this session, and we will send most of the information that is necessary for application.
Perfect.
Oh, there is one more question.
It's from Viara. Thank you, Viara. You are a very regular participant today. So what are there scholarship based on the family income?
This is actually a very good question. So yes, but so the university scholarships, so the one that are funded by LUIS itself, are only merit-based. But the government has several scholarships, especially like the regional ones should be the one that you guys look into. They are only based on income. So in that case, specifically, for instance, for us being in Rome, it's called Lazio Disco. I'm sure the Skylines can help you exactly with that. But overall, like the idea is that you have to submit, several documents relating to your family income. And then if you qualify, you are pretty much automatically exempted from paying the tuition fee. There is only one teeny tiny problem with these kind of scholarships, which is that the ranking for the list of the students is published in November. So this means that you have to apply to the university, pay the first installment, come to LUIS, to Italy, finalize the application. There might be some documents that you have to physically hand in, and then in November, whenever they decide to publish the list of students, that's when you know. If the scholarship that you get by Lazio Disco is a full scholarship, then we would refund you of the first installment that you pay. Sure, no problem. Thank you for asking.
Well, if there are no other questions, Maria, I will say thank you. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you for the invitation. Thanks to the students for listening and attending. Again, if you need anything else, you can either reach out by Calendly and book an appointment today, or reach out to our partners and they will help you. Thank you again. It was lovely being here with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Maria.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Ciao.